Hello, everyone. Just getting everybody admitted here. Okay. I think everybody has been entered. I'll share the screen here. All right. Happy Monday, everyone. Hope everybody had a good weekend. We're back at it with the Monday Zoom call. So we will start right in. All right, so the first question is regarding fenbendazole. I have a monthly supply. How long will I need to take this? What kind of parasites do I have specifically? What can I expect to feel like when purging this? How will I know when it's all out? Okay, so first, when we are making our recommendations, we're looking at causes of a reason why somebody has a diagnosis, addressing that. And then we're also looking at cancer balancers. So a lot of times the fenbendazole product will come up as a cancer balancer. So it doesn't necessarily mean that we are using it to attack parasites. So certainly sometimes biotoxins will come up as part of a cause. And if fenbendazole is helping in that case, then it is probably a parasite that we're dealing with. In this case, for this person, the fenbendazole is coming up as a cancer balancer. So that's how we're using it to help with cancer. So a side effect of using it could be that it could be killing off some parasites, a good side effect of that. Most of us do have some type of parasite and, do need to get rid of that. So once in a while, regardless of cancer or not, it sometimes is good to just do a parasite cleanse a couple times a year to just kind of clean the system. But again, for this case, we're using the product as a cancer balancer. So you might not have any parasites that need to come out. You might, we're not saying you have a specific parasite at all because this is coming up as a cancer balancer. So what can I expect to feel like when purging this? So if when you start it, you do end up purging some parasites, it might just feel like a sudden urge to use the restroom. It might not, produce anything if, again, parasites are not, being attacked or released from the body. So you might not have any side effect at all. And how do I know it's all out? Well, if you are, expelling some parasites, you'll just keep expelling them. And I don't know how long it will take. Sometimes it takes a very long time. Sometimes people are getting rid of parasites for a very long time. So I don't know. There's no direct answer to that. But again, for this case, we're using it as a cancer balancer. So it's not for parasite purposes. All right, so the coffee enemas. This is another mental hurdle, which I think I'm closer to resolving. Slow adapter here, or adopter. Just need to get over my fear. So yes, a lot of times it is a very foreign thing to, think about, coffee enemas. And so if you're not used to it, yeah, it takes a while and you might have to do some more research, work up the courage. Sounds like this person is almost there. I think we had originally recommended some coffee enemas and then reiterated with genetic information that coffee enemas might be a good thing. Certainly there's other things you can do if you really are just not going to do coffee enemas. There's other things that we can do to help with detoxification, castor oil packs, certainly supplements, really everything that we're doing has a component of detoxing the body. So coffee enemas are just a great way to help encourage that, and they stimulate the parasympathetic branch of the nervous system. So there's other benefits in addition to the detoxing process. So yes, I don't have any specific advice to kind of getting over the mental block of doing it other than just equipping yourself with information and getting familiar with it, giving yourself grace. If you do work up enough courage to try it, if it doesn't go the way that you planned, don't get frustrated. Your body does need to get used to it. Search on the membership site or look on the membership site for the lazy man's way of doing a coffee enema. The information in your binder regarding coffee enemas is kind of the preferred way, but Dr. Connors has kind of the easy way to do it. You might want to start there. So just, start somewhere and eventually you'll get there and you might end up loving it. A lot of times patients are like, oh my gosh, I don't understand what I was so afraid of. That I actually felt so much better after doing a coffee enema. So just think of the positives. Otherwise, she is doing well with the supplements, tolerating things nicely, had some scans recently and showed lungs and liver are improving. Blood work has also improved. Praise the Lord. Yes, absolutely. Praise the Lord. Thank you for sending that in. We love to hear the successes. So we are celebrating with you. That's wonderful. Okay, some more questions on coffee enemas. Are coffee enemas good if you use decaf coffee? So they will still be good, but as far as a detoxification component, decaf coffee is not quite as good as using the caffeinated coffee. There are specific components in the caffeine that help to dilate, or the caffeine helps to dilate the liver bile ducts. And this helps us to get rid of toxins. It really allows the toxins that are stored within the liver to be dumped with bile through the bile ducts, into the digestive tract. So you're eliminating things through the toilet. So the caffeine helps in the dilation process of those liver bile ducts. So using a decaffeinated coffee would not be as good as using the caffeinated version for that reason. And then also the palmitic acids. So there's some components in coffee that when you are going through the decaffeination process, some of these components are removed, maybe not completely, but removed. And this is the active component that we want for the coffee enema and for the detoxification and the blood purification purposes. So stimulating the gene that produces the glutathione for detoxification. So the decaf process will remove some of those. The other thing with decaffeinated coffee is the conventional process to decaffeinating the beans is a toxic process. They're typically using highly toxic solvents to decaffeinate coffee. So if you are going to use a decaffeinated coffee, I would advise you to look for a decaf coffee, and this is true if you're drinking it as well. So you want to look for decaffeinated coffees that use a specific process. It's called the Swiss water process. So it's a way of decaffeinating the beans that doesn't use the toxic solvents. So again, that's the Swiss water process. So look for that if you're going to be drinking decaffeinated coffee, or if you are going to use decaffeinated coffee in your coffee enemas, because really we don't want those toxins. We're trying to get rid of toxins. So, okay. And then let's see, I think there was something else that I wanted to say. Oh, yes. And as far as, the purpose of using a decaf coffee for coffee enemas, I'm assuming is because you don't want that stimulating effect from the caffeine. And really, it is a different process. It's a different kind of mechanism of metabolism when you're doing a coffee enema versus drinking a cup of coffee. So you are not going to get as much of a stimulating effect from the caffeine when you're doing the coffee enema. You'll still absorb some of that caffeine, but really the caffeine is going directly to the liver and, stimulating, like we mentioned, those bile ducts to open and helping with the blood purification and the detoxing process, but you're not going to get, or you shouldn't get, such a stimulating effect as you would if you were drinking it. So I don't know if that's the reason that you wanted to use decaf. Maybe you have used regular coffee for coffee enemas and you do get really jittery from it. You might be really sensitive to caffeine. So certainly you can try using decaf, and you will still be getting the benefits of stimulating the parasympathetic branch of the nervous system, whether you're using regular coffee, decaf coffee, or if you're just using water, a water enema, or chamomile enema, probiotic enema. So it's just the enema itself that is helping to stimulate the vagus nerve to boost the parasympathetic branch of the nervous system. So I guess that was a long answer to this question, and it kind of depends on what you're looking for. But at the end of the day, using the caffeine for a coffee enema does have some additional benefits versus using decaf. Okay, next question. Again, coffee enemas. So it's Coffee Enema Monday. I'm having a hard time holding the full amount of coffee enema. Is it effective to do just half of the coffee and then do the other half right away? Yes, that would be fine. Another option would maybe just be using less water. So you can still use the same amount of coffee, just make it more concentrated, use less water, and then, do what you can with half that amount, more concentrated version, and, maybe you can hold it for that full amount instead of having to do it twice. So you can try that, but certainly you can do it twice, and that would be fine. Okay. Does anyone have any suggestions for getting the smoothie down? It's a dreaded part of the day, no matter what the flavor I've tried. So yes, really, I guess the first thing I would say is if you can try to identify what part of the smoothie is the part that's making it taste bad. So, a lot of times the Greens First product is in your smoothie recommendations. Sometimes there's mushrooms, there's, vitamin C, or there's quercetin, or there's sun spectrum. So some of these things have a very neutral flavor and probably aren't what is contributing to your dislike of the taste. So if you can identify what it is, I would assume if there's mushrooms in your mix, then it might be the mushrooms. You can always take anything that's powdered and capsulize it and just take it, as a pill. So that is an option. There is an option if it is the Greens First flavor, that you don't like. We do have Greens First capsules. And the deal with that, you can order the capsules off our web store. You just have to take 6 of them to equal 1 scoop of the Greens First powder, but certainly an option. So try to identify what it is that's making it taste awful to you and see if you can capsulize that, take it as a pill. Otherwise, just trying different combinations. You can add different fruits, different vegetables to try to change the flavor. Maybe you've already tried that and it's still not working. So I guess my suggestion would be to try to capsulize whatever component is making it not taste good and get it in that way. So if anybody else has suggestions as to what they have done to help make the smoothie go down more easily, chat those in, let us know. All right, I submitted a question about relief from back pain, and I need to clarify that it isn't really just back pain, but a pain in my inner core is the best way I can describe it. If there would be something to give me relief from this constant pain, that would be great. So yes, so pain is is something that we, many of our patients are dealing with chronic pain, whether it is pain from the cancer itself, or it's pain from a therapy, or, whatever it is, it could be referred pain of some sort. So the first thing is to really kind of try to identify what the pain is from. And yes, there are natural things that can help with pain, but unfortunately, there's not really anything from a natural perspective that really knocks pain down like a prescription medication. And sometimes, when all efforts fail from a natural perspective, it is okay to, check in with your general practitioner or your oncologist and get a prescription for some pain medication, because that pain cycle it can be so hard to, to break that pain cycle. And it really just sends those stress signals throughout the body. We know we don't heal when we're in that constant state of stress. So we have to do what we can to get over pain so we can, be in a more relaxed state so that the body can heal. But there's tons of information on our website about pain. So I've referenced this before. There is a blog post that Dr. Connors goes into detail about good pain and bad pain, because pain is not always a bad thing, but certainly when it's chronic or intense, we need to manage that. Things you can do from a natural perspective. So there's supplements, so curcumin, boswellia, clear and flam is, a nice mixture of different herbs that have been scientifically shown to help kind of break that pain cycle. You can try that. Alova Limitless is another product that there's been a lot of good reports for it helping with the pain cycle. CBD, THC, and marijuana. So that's really probably the strongest thing from a natural perspective to address pain is THC and marijuana. So, depending on what state you live in, you'll have to kind of figure out the hoops that you need to jump through to get that. But that can certainly help. And coffee enemas can help with pain as well, because they are stimulating the vagus nerve and pushing that parasympathetic branch of the nervous system, which can minimize pain. And you can do multiple coffee enemas in a day to help attack pain. There's also Rife programs for pain. And, I wish there was one quick, easy thing that I could suggest for someone to help relieve constant pain, but there just really isn't. Everybody is different. And so you have to just try different things and see if you can get ahead of it, see if you can manage it with some of these natural things. And if it's just too intense and, constant, then like I said, don't feel bad checking in with your general practitioner to see if you can get a medication. Doesn't mean you're going to have to be on it forever. It just means we need to get over this hump. And if we can, just kind of jump this hurdle, get you in a better position, you potentially can come off that medication and be okay. But we do have to manage that pain. So hopefully this helps, and certainly do a blog search. If you just type in the word pain, there's going to be a lot of information on our website regarding tips to help with pain. All right, I am wondering about the iron tonic. Should I continue to take that too? I have been, but there doesn't seem to be any changes in the energy level or my stamina. Don't mean to be negative, but between not having the energy level, losing my strength, this person's getting some bleeding and the skin is fragile, some stomach issues. He's having some low moments, understandably. Praying for some help with the answers to help me know when things may change for the better. Yes, so this person is, we're trying to work through some anemia and, he's getting kind of regular lab work, things like that. So we made the suggestion of trying the iron tonic. And as we've talked about in many of these Zoom calls, kind of the issue with iron, and it kind of puts us in this dilemma because iron can be a fuel for cancer, but obviously we cannot let levels of iron get low because it starts affecting our quality of life and how we feel, and we can't live without iron, so we need iron. But when there's cancer, it's just kind of this catch-22. So when we're feeling these symptoms as this person is describing, we do need to, address it. So we're trying the iron tonic, and then anytime we do give iron, we are coupling it with some cancer fighting things, because again, if the iron is being used as fuel for the cancer, we want to make sure we're getting those cancer fighting supplements that piggyback along with iron. So it's uptaking some of the cancer fighting supplements as well. So all of that being said, yes, he should continue to take the iron tonic, really until we have another lab report seeing if it is showing any benefit. Now he's saying he doesn't see any changes in his energy level or stamina, but maybe it's not getting worse. Maybe it hasn't increased, but maybe it's not getting worse. So maybe we are, helping even though it doesn't feel like it. So we really want you to stay on it until we're getting blood work done to see where your levels are at, and then we can make another reassessment with what we're doing. And, you might have to do an iron infusion or something like that. So, so we just have to take it kind of day by day. And certainly it can be, can bring you down when you don't have energy. It really brings you down, obviously physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. So just know that we are praying for you. We're doing everything that we can within our scope, to try and help with the RIFE and blood building programs on the RIFE, and with iron, the iron protocols and cancer fighters. So we're doing everything that we can, and we just have to take it one day at a time. Certainly prayer, and you might need to enlist some help with the general practitioner as well, and you might need to do an iron infusion. All right, can I eat Ezekiel bread, kiwi, bison, wild grown puff mushrooms from our neighbor's yard, and no pesticides? That sounds great. Yes. So really, we want to refer you back to your binder and your dietary recommendations. So really with Ezekiel bread, so that's just, a great whole grain source. It does have some gluten in it, so you need to be a little bit careful if gluten is something that is feeding your cancer, but a lot of times that's not the case, and so limited amounts of gluten would be fine. Ezekiel bread, like I said, is a great source of whole grains, and so there's going to be a lot of fiber. So it is a great choice if you're eating bread and if you can have a little bit of gluten. So that's fine. Kiwi is absolutely fine. I wouldn't eat 12 kiwi in a day, but certainly kiwi here and there is just fine. Bison, so again, referring back to your diet, if we have told you that you need to avoid red meat, then I would say no to bison. But if you are able to eat red meat, then bison is a great source. That would be just fine. If we've asked you to limit red meat, then certainly kind of adhere to those guidelines and recommendations. And if we're just recommending you have it a couple times a month, then certainly bison can be your thing for those few times a month when you are eating red meat. And I don't see any issues or problems with wild grown puff mushrooms that are pesticide free. That sounds great. Okay. Oh, and here's one. It's not really a Zoom call question, but I thought it would be good to just put it in here so we can, just as a little reminder. So somebody did send in a question saying that their Zoom ID number does not work anymore and tried to follow the instructions given, but was not successful. So the best way to jump onto these Zoom calls is through the membership site and clicking on the button that says join the call. So there is a button that says register for the call. So obviously people have registered and that's fine, but there is another button that will allow you to link directly to the call at the time of the call. So my suggestion is just always try to use that button, because sometimes we do have to change the Zoom information and it changes that meeting ID. So obviously we did that recently, most of you know. And so if you had just copied the meeting ID and you're just entering that, yes, it did change, so it doesn't work anymore. So connect through that link, and then you'll always have access through the current meeting ID number. And we don't change them, or at least we have not changed the meeting ID number, in any regular fashion, but we might be doing that once in a while, at least a little more regularly, just to keep things updated. And so it is good, again, to just kind of connect through the membership page. Especially now, since there's a lot, well, not a lot, but there's more Zoom calls. And so there's multiple meeting ID numbers that you would need to be saving. And then if they change, you need to change them all. So again, just join through the membership site and you'll have access to the current meetings and the current ID numbers. Okay. So that was all of the questions that had come in. So now there's a couple chat questions that had come in. Let's see. Coffee enemas. The number one thing I hate to love, but love them I do. Pro tips. Start with 1 cup warm water. You hold just till you have to go. Then do the coffee. This helped me tons. Okay, so that is a great tip. Thank you. Yes, if anybody has tips or things that have really helped them, and absolutely send them in. So thank you for sending that. So 1 cup of warm water to just start with, and then do the coffee. So that has helped this person. So some good advice. Okay. I am not able to get into the Zoom call from the membership page. It never recognizes my email or password. I have to use the email you sent me. Okay. It never recognizes my email or password. I am not sure. So previously, I think you were able to connect to Zoom calls without, kind of registering an email address or something. Now we've made it mandatory for you to register for them. And we did that because we were having this just major confusion with the way people were identified to us in the calls. So names were coming up as staff members. So, there would be 2 Angie Helgesons on the call, and, obviously, and she wasn't on the call, but somebody was logged in, or 2 people with her name, or same thing with Dr. Connor's name. It's coming up, and well, I know Dr. Connors has got appointments scheduled and he's not on my Zoom call. He could be, but I know he wasn't, but his name is coming up. So that's why we made it mandatory for you to register. So it is requiring you to have an individual Zoom account. You have to put in your name so we know who's on the call, just for identification purposes. And I don't know if that is causing a blip in people logging on. So it is your Zoom account. So your Zoom email address and your Zoom password to get into your Zoom account. and then it links you to our Zoom call. So I'm not quite sure, I'm not able to get into the Zoom call from the membership page. Yeah, I don't know. I'll maybe have to bring that to Dustin and he can kind of see if there's an issue there. But that would be my only thing is, just make sure you're logging in through your Zoom account and you have that active and you know your password and everything for your Zoom account, and then it links to our calls. So, okay. Any other questions? So I know somebody just logged in and we've kind of gone through all the questions that came in, and we just finished up some of the chat questions. So this is being recorded, so I will be posting this on the membership site just shortly after we're all done here. So it will be posted momentarily, so you certainly can go back and listen to the recording. I know you had a question and I did answer that question, so you can listen to the recording. Okay, let's see here. This is new. Somebody raised their hand. I do not know what that means or what to do when somebody raises their hand. Certainly you can send in a chat if you have a question, or
Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, okay, good. I'm the person who raised.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. I have I have a question about the drug that was mentioned early, the fenbendazole.
Yes, the fenbendazole.
Yes, the question has to do with, is that something that is prescribed by medical like oncologists? And if so, what is it used for? Because the fact that you all would recommend it,
Mm-hmm.
it could possibly be, obviously you've done your research and it does whatever you expect it to do. So I'm just wondering what do the oncologists use it? I'm not sure
Right.
what cancers they use it for. Maybe you can help me out.
Yes. So fenbendazole is not a prescription medication. It is an over-the-counter product that typically is being used by veterinarians as a deworming product. So it's helping to get rid of parasites or worms. There is so somebody, I don't know if you've ever heard of a person named Joe Tippins, but in the recent years, Joe Tippins has gotten a lot of, I guess, press
Attention.
attention in the natural alternative, therapies for cancer, because he used a specific protocol and cured himself from cancer. So if you did a search for the Joe Tippins protocol, you would be able to learn all about him, his story, and how he came about this protocol and how it helped him. And this protocol, has since, like I mentioned, become very popular. So we use the protocol. And it's not just the fenbendazole, it's also 3 other products. It's a curcumin or a turmeric product. It's also a vitamin E product, and then a CBD product. So that's kind of the whole protocol. And so we use this in our testing. So we'll test people to see if this comes up as a cancer balancer for them, either the complete protocol, or sometimes it's just a portion of it. Sometimes it's just the fenbendazole product that comes up as a cancer balancer. So yeah, so we do test people for it. And if we have not recommended it, it is because it didn't test as a cancer balancer. But a lot of times patients initiate the fenbendazole or the Joe Tippins protocol on their own. Certainly, you can look into that if you want to learn more about it, or if you feel compelled to try it. It has helped a lot of people. So I would, again, do a search for the Joe Tippins protocol. You can also look on our web store if you type in Joe Tippins, and it will bring up the protocol and our products, and so you can kind of learn about it that way.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome. Okay, there is another chat that came in. It seems overwhelming with 40 plus supplements each morning and more in the afternoon and evening. Can I add supplements, empty the capsules to my daily drink? If so, which one and how many? So yes, absolutely, you can empty supplements into your drink or a smoothie. And it's not a hard science. It's not a black and white rule. Yes, this one's no, this one. So you might have to just play with that. You know, so I don't know what, there's no right or wrong answer to which ones and how many. You can just start by trying one at a time and seeing if it, you know, changes the flavor of what you're consuming. If it makes it something that you just cannot stand, then that one might be better to take as a capsule. So yeah, you can play with it. And yes, it does get overwhelming with a lot of supplements. Many times patients use a pulsing method with supplements. A lot of times patients are taking supplements outside of what we have recommended, and so they're maybe pulsing those supplements. By pulsing, I mean taking supplements on a rotational basis. So, you know, if you're taking 7 things from us, you know, that we really want you to take according to how we're asking you to take them, but then you've got 10 other supplements that you're using because, oh, I read this helps, or this makes me feel better, I get energy from this. So there's value to taking other supplements if they are helping you, and we don't want to take those away unless we've indicated no, don't take these. Then there's a specific ingredient that we don't want you to take, which we've indicated. But if you're taking additional supplements and you feel like, I'm just taking so many, you can pulse them. So out of those 10 extra ones that you have, maybe take, 5 of them 1 week or for 2 weeks, and then, rotate them out and take the next 5 and take them for a week or 2 weeks. And so you're not taking all of them, on a daily basis, but you're still getting them in the system just on a rotational basis. So you can try that, and you absolutely can empty capsules into drinks, and that would be fine. Just try one at a time to see which ones, are tolerable as far as your palate, and go from there. So I hope that helps. Any other questions? Okay, if we decide to start something new on our own, should we run those by you, or only when we send in a cheek swab? So if you do decide to try something new, it is good to just, shoot us an email, and, and we can look at the ingredients and let you know, oh, we really don't want you to take this because, of this form of the B vitamin that's in there. Or it has copper, or that's not the best form of something. So it is good to run it by us. And then we also have it in your notes on what you're taking, so that when we do follow up with a cheek swab, we have it noted in there that you are taking an additional supplement. All right. Okay, I agree. Coffee enemas now are one of my favorite healing modalities. It was not something I enjoyed in the beginning, but now my day is not complete unless I do one. Try to have a bowel movement before you start if you can. I also agree with the water flush. I do a full quart to remove extra feces prior to the coffee. This makes holding the coffee so much easier. Also relax and pray, do breath work, etc. while holding the coffee. This helps with any tension. I always feel lighter and have reduced pain afterwards. You can do this. Wonderful. That is really encouraging, and thank you for sending that in. So that's great. Great advice. Yes, we need to support each other and cheer each other on. So hopefully this helped and this person can get past their fear and do a coffee enema, and hopefully she'll have the same positive response. You can let us know how it goes. All right, any other questions? Don't see any other questions coming in. All right, everyone, I guess we will wrap it up. Thank you for sending in your great questions. I always learn from your guys' questions, and I hope that you know, you guys are learning and learning from each other as well. So continue to send in those questions, and we will do the best we can to support you and get these answered for you. All right, well, have a wonderful rest of your day. Looking forward to, well, next Monday. I think it's Labor Day already. So next Monday, we will not have the Monday Zoom call. Certainly we'll have Wednesday this week and Wednesday the following week, but we will not be in office on Monday, Labor Day. So I hope you guys have a wonderful Labor Day weekend. Enjoy some time with your family, get outdoors, have some awesome food, and just celebrate. So I hope you guys have a good Labor Day weekend. All right. Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye. You're welcome.